A total bobcat skull. This old man getting his exercise. Hey, come with Poppy and I. We are going for a hike out to the tip of Wilbur Neck, way out here to the end of that point. Here we are, trucking down the dirt road. Come on, Poppy. Okay, we're going off the road and see if we can do a little bushwhacking down to the cove. Wow, look at this. Giant boulders, cliffs, and out there, the ocean. Whoa, look at this drop off. Ooh, quite an incline here. Poppy, what are you doing? We're going down the hill. Hopefully we're not gonna fall. Tide-pull Tim going out on the edge of the cliff. Poppy just went flying down the hill. We're getting down to sea level. Oh, we got a big blowdown. A giant maple tree.
Oh, nice shot, Pop.
It's a little steep. Look at all the black ducks. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 20. Oh, here comes 2 more. Look at this beach. Oh, look, some caves. Come on, Pops, let's go. There's a cave. They're not very deep. Got a little water dripping down. I've never walked this shore down here. This is called Young's Cove. We're gonna head out to the end of Wilbur Neck. The tide is rolling in. One of the best things about hiking these beaches is that it's kind of like Christmas morning. You never know what you're gonna find. And over the years, I've found dead porpoises washed up on the beach. I found spear points from native fishing gear, interesting pieces of driftwood, shells. Sometimes we find eagles picking apart a duck or a cormorant or something like that. Well, here I am in the cove. You can see all the varying chunks of seaweed that have washed in. This was like the last storm. This might have been a month ago, a couple months ago. You can see the different makeup. Down here we have pure rockweed. In here it's a mixture of seagrass. Here we have pine cones, marsh grass, and you see how it's lighter. And then up in here, this seaweed probably washed in on a big storm late last fall. We're in the shade here, and there's a lot of blowdowns in the road, but we're going to bypass them and work our way out back into the sunny side. Really getting into the thick of it here. Oh, here comes some geese. One thing that makes it nice about hiking along the shore is that for hundreds, if not thousands of years, there's mostly deer and other game go through and build a bit of a trail. See, here's some deer poops right along the shore. That's Dram Island out here. Up in this area, Whiting Bay, and then where the sun's setting is Denny's Bay. You can see we're a good 50-60 feet on a little cliff here. We're headed following the sun. Now here's something a little bit scary. Looks like lightning struck hit this tree, caught it on fire, and there's a little bit of a forest fire here. And then it must have gone out by itself. What do you think, Pop? The rest of the ground is not burned that I can see, so, huh. Alright, we made it through the woods, and now we're coming out onto the tip of the point. Oh, incoming Canada geese. You can see that the deer have already been out here grazing it down, getting the first fresh forage of the season. From here on out, we'll be hopping along on ledges and rocks. Come on, puppy. Oh, we're gonna have to make a big jump. Young's Cove. Denny's Bay. I don't know if you could see this. The tide's rolling in, and on the biggest of tides, the water actually flows through this gap and out to sea. So that becomes an island at high tide. You can't walk past. It's maybe 3-4 feet of water. When our kids were younger, we would come out here and sometimes they'd wrestle around in on the weeds and get some mussels and clams, and we'd cook them on a rock. I think maybe this rock right here. Boy, look at all the green algae. This stuff. Ew. This filamentous green algae. Wow, it really likes it here. Look at that. Oh, Poppy likes it too. Here you go, Pop. It's interesting to see these tire ruts up here at the high tide mark. Years ago, the clam diggers would drive their four-wheel drives out here so that they could access the mud and dig their clams. Of course, now the wildlife refuge owns the road, and you can't drive out here anymore. Oh yeah, look at good girl. Killing her teeth, I think. Look at this little spot. Bunch of dead trees, probably died in the past 20 years or so. As the waters rise and they get a little bit too much salt water in them. Come on. Good girl. Oh, here's an urchin, another one of her favorites. Poppy. There you go. How's that feel on the old gums? You know, the early settlers, this was their place where they would cut the grass and make hay, because the woods were all forested. They didn't have fields. The fields hadn't been cleared yet. All right, we're back in the woods. We got the water on both sides of us. The path's pretty decent, actually. We're able to move along at a pretty good clip. And here we come out to another promontory. Not a sign or a sound of a human. Oh yeah, nothing like a little stagnant rainwater pool to get a taste like rotten leaves. Listen to this. Popping the old dried ascophyllum, the rockweed. The neck is very narrow here. It doesn't look like the tide's ever washed up and over. But there's another one of these little grassy meadows with the marsh hay. And oh look, there's a bit of a pool there, a little pond. Let's check it out. We saw a few ripples, so there are some frogs in here. But we did not hear any peepers. Beautiful spot. See, but way over there in the distance is my pickup truck where we parked it. So we've gone all the way up and around and then out the peninsula. Woohoo! It's a great hike. Every time you come around a little outcrop, you come to another scenic cove. We're back in the woods again. following a game trail. And the Wilbur family, it's named after. They were some of the earliest settlers here in Pembroke. I wonder if they had a farm out here or what it was, but you can imagine with sheep back in the day, this was probably all pasture land. Look at this bed of moss. Ooh, a big cushion. We gotta be almost to the end of the point. When my brothers and I were young in the wintertime, we would light these birches on fire. The flame would go up all the way to the top of the tree. It was quite exciting. And it being winter, we didn't have to worry about setting the woods on fire. The land is totally rising up to a ledge, crumbling ledge. Look at this. I wonder if that's the highest point on Wilbur Neck. Right there. All right, we're scaling the mountain here. Once again in the game trail. This is probably where the big bucks go during hunting season. Nobody hunts out here. Look at this. Reindeer moss, lichen. This old man getting his exercise today. Look at all these lichens over here. Completely unspoiled wilderness. What do you think, Pop? What do you think? You liking those lichens? Alright, we must be almost to the end of the point. Well, we did not make it all the way to the tip of the point. We've got to return all the way back and over to where my truck is. Right there. So we're going to have to turn around. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to the tip of Wilbur Neck, but we will be back. Looks like it's another quarter mile out that way to the tip of the point. The sun is set, so we don't want to push our luck. Now when you're climbing along the shore, every once in a while you come to a place where it gets really steep and you wonder if you're going to be able to creep around without ending up down in the rockweed. In this case, it looks like we've reached a dead end. We can't go up that way. Come on, Poppy, we're going to have to go back and go up through here. Hey, remember earlier in the video where I said what's fun about hiking is you never know what you're going to find? Now, I've been hiking out here on the neck for close to 2 hours on way back. Just come up into this little grassy area. Look at this. A total bobcat skull. Right there. I don't know how it's like that. Typically you would find the jaw ripped off and over in one spot. Wow. That has to be the best skull I have ever found. There's a ton of bobcats down here. They love the country. A lot of rabbits, a lot of grouse. And there it is, just laying in the grass, and Poppy wants to chew it up and destroy it, but that is a collector's item. That's crazy. I can't believe I found this skull. You know, there's so much deer sign out here. I was hoping I might find a skull with some horns on it, or maybe even perhaps some shed antlers. But there it is. That is definitely the most intact bobcat skull that I've ever found. I don't know if you can see this, but remember I said that the tide comes in over this little gap? We're making it back just in the nick of time. The water on that side, water on this side. Oh, thank God I didn't stay out longer. We'd have to sit here and wait a couple hours till the tide came in. Oop, made it across. Oh, that was close. Almost back out to the road. Listen to the frogs. The old spring peepers. Pouring it on. Come on, puppy. Let's go.